All right, we are here again with Brewer Media Group. I'm Keely Arris, and today we have some very, very special guests because sitting in front of me, I've got Karen Collins and Ilya Rom. They are pretty much putting on the Velvet Chair Experience. I know you've heard about it. It is a long-standing concert concept, Karen's own creation. They've been doing it the last couple years, and it's a hit because it has been sold out, right?
Yeah, it really has been. And this collaboration is just so exciting.
I've heard a few people talk about it, how fun it is, how interesting it is. Can you tell us a little, what is this Velvet Chair Experience?
So I'm going to let Ilya lean in on the CSO part, but it's the same concept. Basically what we do, you come to the show, you tell us a song you want to hear, and we sit you in the velvet chair and sing the soundtrack of your life. So it is it's been a beautiful journey. People fall in love in the chairs and they do all these other things in the chairs. It's clean though. It's PG. Let me say that. But it is a space where people just learn to love on each other. And, music elicits memories, right? And so we just want to tap into that and give people for, a couple hours a place to be of joy. That's really what it is.
I'm one of those people, live music. I don't care what it is, where it is. If it's live music, I get the goosebumps from it. I can only imagine being up there. You know what I mean? It's definitely got to be an experience. Now, we work with the Chattanooga Symphony and Opera quite often. There are a lot of things going on over there throughout the years, or I meant throughout the year. Yeah. And honestly, I'm talking about a different event going on over there probably constantly. It's like there's always something going on. What is something about the Velvet Chair Experience that is really going to stand out?
Well, Ilya, one of the things we talked about when I met Ilya is we talked a little bit about the concept and how we can do it symphonically. Like, what do we do? And so he's and you'll hear him talk in a minute, but he's such a vibe himself that when we sat down and talked about it, Dexter Bell, he's with us as well and with the symphony. But when we talked about it, we talked about the uniqueness of where we could do it and how we can do it. I think the collab is like, how do you translate that's in this really, really intimate setting and another intimate setting that's just a little bit different, but we do this wide range of music. So, Ilya, what do you think? What would you say? It was some good conversation around it.
Yes, it was. That was a good conversation and good food.
We did. We had good food.
One of the things that I find very profound about Karen's voice, both as an actual singer, but as a person, and something that I very much related to, and one of the things that I believe very strongly is that we need to create a story together. It is about an experience that we all share, whether as musicians, on stage, off stage, and audience alike. And the idea of incorporating storytelling into the actual experience of the musicians and of the audience, and having the audience be a part of the narrative rather than just a passive recipient of a musical experience is 100% in line with my view of what art should be. And an orchestral experience amplifies that by tenfold by having such a visceral amount of musicians playing at the same time. There is a physical sensation to that amount of sound happening around you acoustically that you can't replicate. And I agree completely with what you said about the idea that it doesn't matter which music you listen to, as long as you listen to live music, it is great. But there's something about that added experience of an orchestra that it's the same as going to a movie and the same as going to a theater. Going to a movie is great. It's fantastic. You follow the story, you see it. But when you go to a theater, you see people create something right in front of you. And it's the same with the orchestra. You can listen to music at home. You can also listen, I love jazz, I love rock, I love everything. I go to listen to any concert I can. But there's something about the amount of people that create that together that I wanted to incorporate that into the Velvet Chair experience to just have another level of elevation to what Karen is already doing that is fantastic.
I agree. Like what you're saying, it does speak to me. We do a lot of, media here, and we talk a lot about where the future of media is, and a lot of people are all about the internet. And I think a big reason that people are drawn to the internet and internet, culture is because in a sort they can be a part of it and they can comment on it or they can like it.
Yeah,
and they can, and it's like being included. And I think this kind of embodies that feeling, but you also get that live interaction, that human interaction, and like he was saying, that whole orchestra and everything just surrounding you. It's such a powerful experience. And I'm here to tell you, I've seen you, Miss Karen, a lot of places around town. I've seen you perform, and you are one of those people that it's almost like an outer body experience listening to you. Your whole body is powerful. You sing from your toes to your head. I've watched you. I'm not just talking here.
I appreciate
it. Is incredible. So putting a whole orchestra behind you and including the audience and everything, it sounds amazing. I haven't gone in the past because, like you said, it has been sold out, but it's definitely something that we're going to try to get into this year. Is there a place that people can find more information, get some tickets on this?
Oh, yeah. So you have the ChattanoogaSymphony.org is the website. I have memorized it well. And, of course, the Velvet Chair experience, we have it on our website as well. It's only one Velvet Chair. You can't get lost. And one Chattanooga or Symphony and Orchestra. You can't get lost. So those tickets are on there. They start at $32. There are even discounts for if you're an educator or if you're a student. I want to really kind of lean in on that because you can bring your student. I think it's $15 and something. I think educators are like $18, something like that. And then that's the orchestra being, intentional, right? You want to open up those spaces. And you heard Ilya. Yes, absolutely. You want to open up those spaces where people may not have ever gone to a symphony, right? Or they may not have ever come to my show. And all of a sudden you get this great organic kind of a room full of folks who may never be in the room again with each other. You know what I mean? But this is the beginning of kind of stimulating that conversation. And that's intentional.
I love it. And I love anything that reaches out to the youth in the community. I think that's what we need to build upon, and I think most people agree with that. So giving them those experiences and letting them know, there's these options out there. I love it.
Yeah, and then for people, like it's, I will say this, we're ADA accessible for all people who think they can't come. It's in the Walker Theater. It's totally accessible. Even the balcony is accessible by elevator. So there are things that may have limited you from going to other places. Just because you think the Walker is at the top of the memorial does not mean you can't get there. You can get there.
Yeah, it's definitely, they've definitely opened it up, and talk about a beautiful building for a beautiful event. It's gonna be so nice. I love it. All right, so what about social media? Do you guys have any social medias that they can check things out on?
I'm gonna say, if you haven't seen this, Ilya, would you say that if you haven't seen this, you are blind? So, let me just give a shout out. She's in the room, but she's not talking. Julia Maraj, she's here, and baby, this child she knows what she could do. Let me say, she's a professional, and I didn't mean to say child belittling, but she's a professional, and I love the way that she's approached the media and marketing, and she's the director of marketing there at the Symphony, and just the way the whole staff has just wrapped themselves around me being new to this world, and of course I got to shout out Dexter Bell. He's was pivotal in this, but for them to, I'm learning scores and all these things and trying to do the best that I can do, but the staff is amazing. So it is everywhere. If you haven't seen it, we even have billboards, y'all.
I have seen that. Yes, I have seen the billboards. I don't think about it. Well, anyways, I cannot wait. For fact, it is what day? March 28th. What time are we doing that at? 7:30.
7:30.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for speaking with us, Ilya. We are excited. I can't wait to see it for myself. It's going to be an experience. And remember, if you want to get your own tickets, get them quick because it has been selling out the last few years. Yeah. And you can get that at what address?
ChattanoogaSymphony.org.
I had to ask you. You said you had it memorized.
And it's the Velvet Chair experience too.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
it's going to take you right to the symphony site. So don't worry about that. You will get there. And they have a phone number you can call. Just call the Symphony box office if you're not sure which little dot to push to get your seat. Just call. They are so helpful.
Our listeners love that. It's frustrating sometimes when you're trying to go to shows and there's no phone number to call. There's places like that, and it is like jumping through hoops. So that's really a nice option, actually. All right, thank you guys so much for coming in. We look forward to it, and you can find more videos like this over on YouTube at Brewer Media Group.